It's been 5 days since the release of the limited access to Counter-Strike 2 and I didn't sleep much. But like I said, it's a good time to be a CS player these days, although I know that a very small portion of you got access. I've heard it's something like 0.5%. And if you have questions regarding that, have a look at my previous video so you can get everything you need to know. Now, after 5 days, let's talk about my experience with Counter-Strike 2. Is it good? Is it bad? What needs to be changed? Well, let's see. This video is brought to you by Skinsmonkey. It's a trading site for CSGO skins and it doesn't get any more transparent than that. I put this here, it is worth that, so I can spend that much, trade, and done. It's a good way to trade your skins and play with something fresh every now and then. Skinsmonkey also offers you to buy skins for cheap with a 30% deposit bonus, and if you use my link down below or put the code JEFF, you get an extra 5%. And with the first trade bonus, the more you trade, the more cashback you get. Have a look at the freebies tab if you want to take part in giveaways and tasks, and don't forget to use my link, which I'm sure you already know where to find, right? So I'll begin by saying this, the game is in an early stage, it's a limited access, let me say it again, limited. So of course, many functions of the game aren't here yet and it will come through updates that I will hopefully cover, and I'm going to focus on the experience we are getting right now in the limited test phase.
I know, Jeff's a big guy, Max.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Ewoks, guys, Ewoks, there we go.
Let's begin with the obvious one, the technical part. Some people have a very good experience with it, some less. I am somewhere in between. When I play the game without streaming, it's a lot smoother. I'm getting an average of 300-ish FPS, which is enough for me, but with the drops and the stutters, it gets annoying sometimes. I also notice there's an input lag happening, and I've been trying to fix that. Now, is this something meaningful? No. It's really not. The game will have a ton of updates, hotfixes and optimizations. So right now, if you focus on that, you're worrying about the wrong thing. Like I said, at the moment the game is in the worst state it will ever be. And it's already very playable. It's only gonna get better through time. So please, chill your titties, it's gonna be alright. Okay, short is my nemesis. I can never get headshots. Okay, never mind. At the moment, I am conquered. I am loving this stage of the game where we are all discovering the new meta and experimenting with some stuff. It's exciting, it's a fun time. The smoke mechanic changes how the map is played, and an example of that would be the mid-box smoke. If you play Dust 2, like Nyok, you know that you can't do much without putting a smoke on top of the mid-box. But on CS2, with the new smoke, you can now throw a smoke that goes in between the doors, and because it's dynamic, the smoke will rise up and fill the gap. The smokes and the one-way smokes had become a central piece of CSGO. Now with CS2, they are still very efficient, but they don't act as one-ways anymore, and that alone is a huge change. Remember that I spent years saying that one-way smokes shouldn't be a thing, and remember that I spent years getting answered, "Hello you fucking noob, just learn the lineup and shoot El Mao, you so bad." Well, now it's gone. So I spent years saying that the deagle shouldn't kill in 2 chest shots, and the deagle is nerfed. I spent years saying one-ways shouldn't exist, and now the one-ways are gone. And I've been saying for years that the taser deserves some skins. So... not everything is that shiny, don't get me wrong. I would also know that the movement feel a bit clunky, as well as the shooting mechanic at times. It also feels like sometimes you're walking on ice, it doesn't feel really precise. But my theory about that is that it's mostly due to the servers. The ones that we have in the limited access are not really good, you can't create a private server, and we notice a lot of rubber banding, lags and stuff. So I think to give you my proper opinion on that, we first need to have access to better servers and play in better conditions. One thing that I despise is how much the screen shakes when shooting. It's a bit hard to demonstrate, but have a look. When I shoot in CSGO, the recoil will make my screen shake a little bit, and then my crosshair is back in position. When I shoot in CS2, the same thing happens, but worse, and the crosshair takes a little delay to get back in its position. So even though the spray patterns are almost the same, the sensations you are getting when shooting feels off. It really shows better when shooting with the Max 7. Remember my video where we increased the recoil of the weapons by 30 times? If you fire a Max 7 with this is what happens.
Flash again.
Oh gosh.
Oh, sit this one.
The Max 7 is fucking ridiculous. And it feels the same for CS2. This is me firing a Max 7 in CSGO, and now in CS2. Side-by-side comparison in slow motion to give you an idea. And the same thing happens with the deagle, but like I said, I think this is something that they will change and tweak over time. You guys forget how bad we had it for the beta of CSGO. The CS2 we have right now is a lot better, and I would even say playable.
He's low HP. Peeking.
Yeah, well, I wish I would. Oh god.
No, we lose the up. No.
I have seen a few comments saying that this update is basically useless because nothing changes besides vibrance on the maps. Well, let me show you what kind of changes you can expect. Because there's no skyboxes, you're now able to throw the util anywhere. You want to push B? Now you can smoke B door from T-spawn like that. Your teammate in short is getting pushed and you're too far to help. Well, not anymore. Now you can throw a flash for him and give him a chance to do something. It encourages better and more creative plays. Just the skybox changes how a map can be played and how creative you can get with your plays. And keep in mind, we only have access to Dust 2 right now. So Inferno, Overpass, Nuke, these maps will see a lot of new plays and a lot of new ways of playing. I would also add that the flashbangs are very much too strong right now because they blind you really good and they also make you deaf. So when you are flashed, you don't see anything and you don't hear anything either. It feels like they last longer as well, so if you get flashed during a rush, you are deaf, you're blind, and essentially you have become an expensive decoy for the next few seconds. The tagging feels awful. When you get shot, you're pretty much dead. But I'm not sure if this is due to the bad servers or the game mechanic itself. So for now, I don't think we need to detail this more. Lastly, I love the fact that Oneways are gone. If there's a Molotov thrown somewhere, it will be balanced this time. No more sweating behind the smoke fades hoping that you see him first. This is gone, and it makes for a better and a cleaner Counter-Strike in my opinion. In the last 5 days, I didn't die once to that kind of stuff and it feels amazing. I wasn't expecting much for Source 2, like I said in the video that I released 5 minutes before they announced the Source 2. Let's be honest guys, Source 2 is not gonna bring a ton of new gameplay elements. So all of these changes came as a surprise to me, and I love the fact that we are getting updates about the gameplay, but also about extra stuff outside of the gameplay itself, like the smokes preview. This was unexpected, and I think it's underrated how no one expected Valve on that. Now I've seen some people saying that this is very bad and makes the game noob friendly and ruins the skill cap somehow. I don't know why you would be thinking this. In CSGO you have the guys at Refrag.gg who literally built a tool where you go on a server, you tell them where you want the smoke to land, it will calculate it for you, and it will show you how to do it. You don't even have to spend time to find it yourself. And even then, say that you find a very good smoke lineup after 10 hours of throwing smokes online. The moment you throw it in an official match is the moment people will download the GoTV and use it as well. So either way, I don't understand that kind of opinion. Now back to Valve, the fact that they have built this feature for CS2 makes me really hopeful for the potential tech and mods and features we will have in the future. I don't see it mentioned enough, but let me remind you that in the last 10 years, that kind of tech has been developed by third-party companies. Skybox made a demo reviewing tool, Refrag gives you a lot of good tools to work both individually, but also as a team. Also the smoke thing I mentioned earlier. These companies filled a gap left open by Valve. Now if Valve begins to develop these tools internally, this is a very big change in the approach that Valve had with CS in the last years. My conclusion would be that Source 2 is a big change in many ways, and yet it keeps the counter in the strike. It tastes like CS, it feels like CS. And yet there's even more creative plays that feel possible. Now I want you to remember this is an early stage of development. We have a bare-bone version of CS and there's a lot of changes that will happen over time. The technical side is not on point and it's okay. It is meant to be. What do you even expect? An early access with the polish level of a finished game? There's a good reason to be hyped right now, not because of the current state of CS2, but because of the potential it has and what it can become. Right now, Valve wants feedback on specific points and they will use that phase to work on these.
These nuts!
So don't focus too much on the little details because I can guarantee you they are going to change. Keep on providing feedback, report the bugs and the updates will come. In the meantime, posture check, catch me live on Twitch and I will see you in the next video.